Hello everyone. I welcome all of you to Yukt Mind's unique initiative 10 minutes and newspaper done. Today UPSC prelims results 2023 have been announced in record 15 days and it's time to sit on your study table whether it's for mains or next year prelims. Finish the current affairs on daily basis because questions are primarily formed from this area. This video is 10th June, the Hindu discussion, and we have selected 9 UPSC relevant articles. You can download the PDF of our gist from our Telegram channel or website. First news. The Naveen Patnaik government of Odisha shunted out the Minister and Secretary of the Higher Education Department for poor performance. The action is rare as the state government has hardly ever cited poor performance as the reason for ousting a minister and secretary. Now, what is the position of CM in our constitution? According to Article 64 in the Indian Constitution, the governor appoints chief minister. As per the convention, the leader of the party that has got the majority share of votes in the assembly election is appointed as the chief minister of the state. Article 164 states that the CM shall be appointed by the governor and other ministers shall be appointed by the governor on the advice of chief minister. That means CM has the status of primus inter pares amongst the council of ministers. That means he is the first among equals. The article also mentions that the council of ministers are collectively responsible to the state legislature. So the governor is the nominal head of the state and the chief minister is the real head of the state. He performs the following functions with respect to the council of ministers. He recommends to the governor on who to appoint as ministers. He designates or reshuffles the portfolios of the ministers. He can ask a minister to resign as in the case of Odisha. Meeting of the council of ministers is headed by him. All activities of the ministers are guided and controlled by the chief minister. If he resigns, the entire council of ministers collapses. Second news, Kaveri Authority to meet on June 16, but Mekedatu Dam may not be discussed. The Supreme Court is yet to give its ruling on an application filed by Tamil Nadu last year on the Mekedatu issue. According to the application filed by Tamil Nadu in court, the planning of the Mekedatu Dam was in gross violation of the decision of the Kaveri Water Disputes Tribunal of February 2007, which was affirmed by the Supreme Court on February 2018. So let's talk about controversial Mekedatu Dam. Mekedatu, meaning goat sleep, is a deep gorge situated at the confluence of the rivers Kaveri and its tributary Arkavati. The 9,000 rupees crore project aims to store and supply water for drinking purposes for the Bengaluru city. Around 400 megawatts of power is also proposed to be generated through the project. It involves building a balancing reservoir near Kanakpura in Ramanagar district in Karnataka. So, why is Tamil Nadu opposing it? The Kaveri Water Dispute Tribunal and the Supreme Court have found that the existing storage facilities available in the Kaveri basin were adequate for storing and distributing water. So, Karnataka's proposal is untenable and should be rejected outright. They have also held that the reservoir is not just for drinking water but to increase the extent of irrigation, which is violation of the Kaveri Water Disputes Award. You can look in the map the location of Mekedatu in the Karnataka Tamil Nadu border. So while talking about Mekedatu, you should also know the geography of Kaveri River, that it rises from Brahmagiri hills of the Western Ghats and flows in southeasterly direction through the states of Karnataka and Tamil Nadu and empties into Bay of Bengal. The tributaries of Kaveri are very important like Arkavati, Hemavati, Lakshmana, Tirtha, Shimsa, Kabini, Harangi. The question have been asked in 2019 prelims about Kaveri River. And you can find the details of the articles in the PDF provided in our Telegram channel. You can see the illustration that there are various controversial projects on the state borders, like the Mekedatu on Tamil Nadu versus Karnataka, about Palar River project in Tamil Nadu versus Andhra Pradesh, and there's also a project on Bhavani River, which is controversial between Tamil Nadu versus Kerala. Third news, if the center succeeds in Jal Jeevan Mission, a nearly 3.6 trillion rupees enterprise to provide piped potable water to all of India, it would avert close to 4 lakh deaths from diarrhea, a modeling study by the WHO and commissioned by the Jal Shakti Ministry says. Additionally, this would avoid 14 million DALYs, that is disability adjusted life years, from diarrhea, save close to $101 million and 66.6 million hours every day of time that would otherwise have been spent predominantly by women collecting water. So let's understand few terms. A DALY, which is disability adjusted life years, represents the loss of the equivalent of 1 year of full health and are a way to account for the years of life lost due to premature mortality and the years lived with a disability due to prevalent cases of a disease or a health condition in a population. A fully functional tap water connection is defined as a household getting at least 55 liters of per capita per day of potable water all through the year. So, what is the current status? Currently, about 12.3 crore rural households, that is 62%, have piped water connections, up from 3.2 crore, 16.6% from 2019 when the scheme was launched. The center says it will achieve 100% coverage under the Jal Jeevan mission by 2024. Five states, including Gujarat, Telangana, Goa, Haryana, and Punjab, and three union territories, Andaman and Nicobar Islands, Daman, Diu, and Dadra Nagar Haveli, and Puducherry, have reported 100% coverage. So, let's know something about Jal Jeevan Mission. It is a reformed and upgraded version of the Project National Rural Drinking Water Program. The Indian government's purpose behind Jal Jeevan Mission is to offer functional home tap connections to every rural household called Har Ghar Nal Se Jal by 2024. The program is a crucial step towards achieving the United Nations Sustainable Development Goal 6, and the mission is part of the Jal Shakti Ministry, which is the nodal ministry for the implementation of the scheme. Fourth news is an opinion article of former ambassador on India Nepal ties. The Prime Minister of Nepal's first bilateral visit to India since assuming office in the current term shows that a pragmatic approach and mutual sensitivity can re energize bilateral relations. There was unprecedented cross party consensus when the Mahakali Treaty, identifying the Pancheshwar multipurpose project with power stations of equal capacity on both banks of the river. There is a new dimension of cooperation in the power sector with a transmission passage from Nepal to Bangladesh through India. The finalization of an agreement for long term power trade, wherein it was agreed to strive to increase the quantum of export of power from Nepal to India to 10,000 megawatt within a time frame of 10 years. The MOU between the National Payments Corporation of India and the Nepal Clearing House Limited for facilitating cross border digital payments. The India offers to create a ground station and supply 300 user terminals to offer the services of the South Asia satellite to Nepal under grant assistance, which will help Nepal in building digital education, digital health, etc. Fifth news, the International Court of Justice, that is UN's top court, gave green light to Ukraine's Western allies to support it in its legal fight against Russia and issued an order clearing 32 countries, including France, Britain, and Germany, to support Ukraine. Ukraine had dragged Moscow to the ICJ shortly after the invasion. Now, let's know few facts about the International Court of Justice, which is also called the World Court, is the judicial body of the United Nations. The International Court of Justice is one of the six primary bodies of the UN. The ICJ's official languages are English and French. The ICJ headquarters is located in The Hague, Netherlands. It is also the only UN body to not have its headquarters in the city of New York, unlike the five others. It is the only international body that mediates between countries over disputes and is the only source of international law. ICJ is advisory in nature and hence cannot reinforce its judgment on the countries. However, the United Nations Security Council has the authority to enforce these verdicts as suggested by the UN Charter. Regarding composition of International Court of Justice, there are total 15 judges for a term of 9 years and has been distributed demographically and geographically amongst continents. You can find their details in the PDF provided in our Telegram channel. Sixth news, India's forex reserves jumped approximately $6 billion to $595 billion for the week ended June 2. The foreign currency assets, a major component of the reserves, increased by $5.27 billion, taking it to the total of $526 billion according to the weekly statistical supplement released by RBI. Now, what is forex reserves? Forex exchange reserves are assets held on reserve by a central bank in foreign currency currencies, which can include bonds, treasury bills, and other government securities. It needs to be noted that most foreign exchange reserves are held in US dollars. So India's forex reserves includes this four things. First is foreign currency assets, second is gold reserves, third is special drawing rights, fourth is reserve position with the IMF. You can read about these in detail in our PDF provided in Telegram channel. Seventh news, Arunachal's newly constructed anti poaching camp at the Namdapha National Park got destroyed by a mob. In 2022, the Namdapha authorities had evicted the Yobin settlers from the 40th mile area, but the Yobins claimed that the department illegally encroached upon their ancestral community land in the name of conservation. So let's know a few facts about Namdapha National Park. It is located in Changlang district in Arunachal Pradesh on the international border between India and Myanmar. It was designated as a wildlife sanctuary in 1972, a national park and 15th tiger reserve in 1983, and is also proposed as a UNESCO World Heritage Site in India. The Noa Dihing River is a tributary of the Brahmaputra that flows north-south through the national park. Now, the uniqueness of Namdapha is that it is the only national park in the world with four feline species of big cats, namely snow leopard, clouded leopard, tiger, and leopard. It also has Hulok gibbons, India's only ape species. It is also famous for critically endangered species such as the Namdapha flying squirrel. You can find these details in the PDF provided in our Telegram channel and website. Eighth news is an opinion article on electricity distribution companies. The Electricity Act 2003 provided the framework for the dismantling of the state electricity boards and the separation of generation, transmission, and distribution into separate companies. Electricity generation was delicensed, while transmission and distribution remained licensed and regulated activities. The DISCOMs has the universal service obligation of supplying electricity to meet the full demand of every consumer in its license area. The Electricity Act gives consumers with a load of 1 megawatt and above the right to open access, enabling them to buy electricity from whomever they choose to and pay the DISCOM only for the use of their distribution network and a cross subsidy surcharge. Now, there have been various successes in the sector, like private investment in the creation of new generating capacity has increased, competitive procurement through the PPAs, the impressive growth in the renewable power, and India has one of the cheapest rates for solar power supply in the world, and the extraordinary success of the National Solar Mission. There are few issues which remains to be resolved, like cross subsidy surcharge continues and acts as a barrier. Not many large consumers are using open access, and the exchange prices are volatile, which needs the imposition of price caps. Discoms are the weak links with rising cumulative losses, inability of regulators in the states, state governments not giving timely subsidies, and the political economy issue of misgovernance and rent seeking in some states. Now, we need to find solutions as we have done in generating capacity because of the long term PPAs with discoms. The energy transition to renewables is accelerating and the reliability of power supply is also increasing. And this is based on DISCOMs projecting demand and entering long term contracts for meeting increasing demand. Without DISCOMs, this edifice would collapse, and without new investment, we may face power shortages again. Ninth news can be used as an example in question having compassion and empathy statements in ethics. Now, the Bhagwan Mahavir Viklang Sahayata Samiti, who are the makers of the Jaipur food, offered to provide artificial limbs to passengers who lost their legs in the recent triple train collision in Odisha. Thank you for watching. Please let us know your feedback in the comments. Keep visiting our website, Telegram, Instagram, and Twitter.